HBO Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. So, the prequel, The Long Night, is dead. Confirmed by The Hollywood Reporter. This is their report here. You can see it just up there, but it's bad aspect ratio at the top. So, I have scrolled it down. Yeah, this is interesting. There's actually a few things going on here. So, it's not just that the Game of Thrones prequel is dead, but it's also that they've ordered a whole series of another series as well. So there's still lots of Game of Thrones stuff going on. So if you love Game of Thrones, which I don't think a lot of people do anymore due to the nonsense which happened, yeah, good news and bad news, I guess. So what is this? Look, Jane Goldman's pilot was filmed over the summer and will not be moving forward. And this is what was rumoured as being The Long Night. So it says the untitled Game of Thrones prequel from Jane Goldman is not moving forward at HBO. Said to focus on the Age of Heroes and the first ever battle between man and the White Walker. Goldman's project, which had filmed a pilot over the summer, which I had some behind the scenes photos of actually, up in Ireland. I think it was Ireland. Now, it said they will not be advancing the series, so the Hollywood Reporter has confirmed this, and according to sources, Goldman emailed the cast to share the news. HBO, as it typically does on projects in development, declined to comment, which, yeah, I mean, makes sense, I guess. Now, the news comes shortly after word of HBO nearing a deal to produce a second pilot, based in the world of Game of Thrones from the minds of author George R.R. Martin and Ryan J. Condal. The series is said to focus on the reign of Targaryen kings in the lead up to the events of Game of Thrones. Why? Super strange. Now, we'll just continue down a little bit on this, right? So, following the series finale, THR spoke with HBO's Casey Bloys for an update on timing for the next iteration on the Thrones franchise. His response at the time: we're shooting the pilot in June. You can do the math and figure out when it will be on the air. What I'm not doing is working backwards by saying this has to be on the air by this date. We want to do the best show possible. This is a pilot, so we're doing it the old-fashioned way, which is shooting a pilot. My expectation is it will be great and we'll be moving forward, and it'll move along on a regular TV timetable. So they were all go for this. Shame as well, because the cast, you've got Watts, Miranda Richardson, Joshua Whitehouse, Marcus Rodriguez, and more. Now, Goldman's untitled Thrones prequel is The Long Night. Was said to take place during the Age of Heroes, thousands of years before the events of Thrones, which would have been better. Would have been better than what we've now got moving forwards, and we'll get onto that in a second. In this period of Westeros history, the Seven Kingdoms weren't even a twinkle in the eye, as the continent was separated into dozens of their own kingdoms. Much, much better from a narrative perspective. It was an age dominated by heroic figures like Bran the Builder, credited with creating the Wall, and Lan the Clever, credited with founding House Lannister. HBO's logline added, only one thing is for sure from the horrifying secrets of Westeros history to the true origin of the White Walkers. Surely we got the true origin of that. The mysteries of the East to the Starks of legend. It's not the story we think we know. So they would... Oh, it doesn't make any... Whatever. Now, it is surprising, and it's what the Hollywood Reporter notes here, it is surprising that they passed on it, because this was their money-making machine. This was what HBO was renowned for ages. But what is surprising moving forward is this. Why is this moving forwards? Game of Thrones prequel, House of the Dragon. This is set like... well, just before? Oh no, here we go, sorry. The prequel is set 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones. Why? Super dumb. Super dumb. From a narrative perspective, guys, like, this sucks. Why are you doing this? Have something thousands of years in the past where you can do basically anything, because it will, you know, not remotely impact the series that you've just watched. Or do this 300 years ago, where the events are a few generations away. Boom. Yeah, nah, fuck it. Not the way forward. Of course not. So comes out like HBO's Max, like, big announcement of pricing and, you know, their kind of what they're planning to do with the whole platform. Now it says, Hours after its surprising decision to pass on its Naomi Watts-led Game of Thrones prequel, HBO on Tuesday afternoon announced a straight-to-series order for a prequel in the world of Westeros called House of the Dragon. So they've ordered it all. The rumoured project, which focuses on House Targaryen and was created by Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin and Ryan Condal, was given a formal series order on Tuesday at the end of HBO's Max formal unveiling to investors. What? Have they even seen a pilot? The prequel is set 300 years before the events of the flagship series, which tracks the beginnings and the end of House Targaryen. We know where it ends. Now this is what I always get about prequels. I just don't understand it. You can tell prequel stories fantastic in universe. It just has to be about someone else. It has to be about someone else. No one's going to care about this. Who cares about House Targaryen? Well, they all go batshit crazy and they bone one another. And they make little incest babies, and then Emilia Clarke basically lives on and does the same stuff. I mean, for God's sake. What is this crap? Like, why? Emilia Clarke earned 4 Emmy nominations for her role as fan favourite Daenerys Targaryen. Martin and Condal will pen the script for the 10-episode project, which is based on Martin's book Fire and Blood. Miguel Sapochnik, butchered that, who earned an Emmy for helming the Battle of the Bastards episode, will direct the pilot and additional episodes. So they've not even had a pilot, and they've already ordered a whole series. What happened with the last movie? With the last series then, the Naomi Watts one? What happened there? That pilot must have been shockingly bad. That must have been so bad. Now Vince Geraghis will also executive produce. Sapochnik and Condal will serve as co-showrunners. House of the Dragon will be the first project to stem from a new overall deal that Sapochnik has signed with HBO, in which he will develop and produce content for both HBO and HBO Max. The Game of Thrones universe is so rich with stories. Not if you do the same fucking stories we've already been told in the series. We know what happened because we've been told it in the series. We look forward to exploring the origins of House Targaryen. They're a family, they make a house, they've got some dragons. Fucking, there you go, done. Like, Jesus Christ. It's not rocket science, is it? Unbelievable. Now, the Targaryen prequel is not one of the previously reported prequels that have been in the works at HBO since 2017. Instead, it is a new take on the world that was being developed by Thrones favourite Brian Cogman. Cogman confirmed earlier this year that the prequel he was working on was not moving forward. Cogman, like showrunners David Benioff and Dan Weiss, is no longer involved with the franchise. He departed for an Amazon overall deal, while the latter pair went to Netflix. HBO first announced 4 prequel series in the works and quietly added a 5th one in the months that followed. Of those, 2 are still active at the premium cabler. And HBO programming president Casey Bloys previously told The Hollywood Reporter that he would not do any sort of sequel to its recently wrapped Emmy-winning franchise. You should. You should do a sequel. Like, not a prequel. Super dumb. Oh, so lame. Does anyone care about this anymore? Does anyone care about Game of Thrones anymore? I get a, you know, I'd imagine this video may get between 5 to 10,000 views, right? So of those people, can you please, for a bit of market research, just let me know if you even care about Game of Thrones anymore. Whether you're going to be interested in this. Because I'd love to hear it. I plan to do this for Avatar, actually. The next Avatar news that we have. Because I don't think anyone gives a crap about that either. But they're ploughing on with massive amounts of money. It's baffling to me. It's absolutely baffling. So, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're new here, make sure you do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. I've got to say, I've been saying it a few times now. People are being unsubscribed from my channel. Fuck you, YouTube. Please do check that you are still subscribed, because I don't know what YouTube is playing at, but a lot of people have been telling me they're unsubscribed. So just check it out. Yeah, support the channel further. Teespring under the video. Patreon as well. But I've been Mr. H. Take care.